you don't know your core top 5 values, you probably really don't know who you are. To have success and fulfillment in what you do as a personal trainer and as a business owner, you need to act in alignment and express those core values. The people who succeed in life, they don't pinball around at the mercy of external circumstances. They possess clarity around who they are, what behaviors they intentionally choose to engage in, and are consciously aware of limiting thoughts and mechanisms to help them live an aligned, meaningful, and purposeful life. We do this by avoiding the fixed and creating an ownership-based mindset around our core values. Our values are really just what we're seeking out. They provide us with intrinsic motivation, and the difference between sitting on the sidelines wishing you could do what others are doing and then actually getting in there and getting the shit done and getting ahead and being a standout. So what are values? What we're talking about in this discussion is our principal core values. They're a list of core values that are of high importance. Everyone's values are different, but when we facilitate and express these values, we get a feeling of ease and purpose and alignment. So just an example of a couple of core values that you might find, something like gratitude, to be thankful and appreciative for good things in my life. Growth and learning, to continue to learn and develop in new areas formally and informally. Contribution, to contribute and give back to the wider world. Courage, to be brave and stand up in the face of fear or difficulty. These are actually 4 of my top 5 values, and they're something that have allowed me to guide me through my career over the last 10 years. Your principal core values can remain the same for a lifetime, but they may change depending on where you're at with your life. If I look back over my career, those 4 have definitely changed. Contributions, reasonably new. Courage, growth and learning has always been there. Gratitude's quite new and it's probably replaced itself with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder that maybe is referred to as like power or strength or something like that. Take a moment to write down the top 5 values that you have right now. It can be things like honesty, accountability, open-mindedness, continual evolution, generosity, what things actually matter to you in those top 5. So how do these core values actually play out in the real world? What do they actually mean? What do they actually have to do with anything? They're going to help us with a lot of different things. They're going to help us decision make. They're going to help us make sure that by the end, come the end of the week, we're actually feeling fulfilled and enjoyed the week and enjoying what we do because we've made the decisions based on our core values. But we need to make sure that we stay in alignment of them. So when things come up, we need to have a strategy in place to actually think about things in terms of our core values. So we use a strategy that we call stop, ask how, apply. So the first thing is obviously stop. When you have a decision to make, where it's really big or really small, take yourself off autopilot. Stop looking for the shiny red ball and ask an old mate in the PT room who's fucking been doing 20 sessions for the last 10 years. Put yourself in your own head and ask, what decision aligns with my core values? Define specifically which value you have the opportunity to express by making a certain decision and how that's going to actually happen. And then apply it. Make an informed decision based on which option best suits your core values. That way you know it's the right decision. It's going to make you the most fulfilled in the long run. So what does this look like in the real world? So I'm supposed to create 7 social media posts today for my personal training page. But I could probably put it off till next week. By not living up to my promise that I'm going to do those 7 posts this week, you're going against some of those core values. My core values include integrity, contribution, growth and learning, and persistence. There's no integrity in promising myself I'm going to do something and not doing it. There's no contribution if I don't show up and help people and spread this message that I'm so passionate about. There's no growth and learning in not fucking doing anything because I'm a little bit scared of getting on camera. And persistence, that one's pretty obvious, right? You need to fucking show up to be persistent. So that's the how. Then we apply. So the clear choice now is you said you'd do 7 posts, do the 7 posts. Now, how do you think you feel 2 hours later when you've created all that content versus 2 hours later when you haven't created all that content? And that's why this is so important when it comes to actually running your business and running it well. Actually feeling fulfilled and getting to the end of the week being like, yeah, I fucking love this shit. The alarm goes off in the morning. Yeah, you're still tired, but hey, I'm pretty happy to get out of bed and go do the shit that I love. Have you ever been that person in the room that's like, yeah, I don't really care that I have to go back to work after holidays or something? And you're sitting with all your mates like, oh, fucking work tomorrow. That happens because you found core values in what you do. So make the choices day in, day out, moment in, moment out that align the most with your core values. You can blow this stuff right up. You can think about, I've got a full book. Do I want to take on another 3 sessions? Well, that's an hour and a half that I could spend on my business. That would help with my contribution. That would help more with my growth and learning. I would be able to pursue other things, help more people, or I can just stay in this kind of trade time for money in face-to-face session mode. Which choice is going to suit my goals over the next 3 years, 5 years? And which one's going to service my values? By now, you should obviously be able to see that knowing your core values ensures what you do day to day and making sure that they actually align with those. To continue to expand your full understanding, jump on Audible, get your hand on a book called The Values Factor by John DeMartini. It's actually quite good. You can probably get through it at about 1.5 times speed. It'll give you a little bit more around how valuable values are. Before we wrap up, I just want to reiterate how important just knowing what these 5 values are. If you want to take this another step further, actually write down 10. Get yourself all those 10 values lined up that you find really important. Isolate the 10 that you think you're doing quite well at. And then isolate the 10 that you're just letting fall down a little bit. Then how from a workspace, not always, you won't always be able to tick all of your values inside your career. You might. How can you start facilitating those 5 values that have just been left off just a little bit lately? You'll see your quality of life improve. You'll see your relationship with your career improve. Probably your relationship with all of those around you because you'll be genuinely happier as a person. Once you've done that, see how you go. Get back to us. Shoot us a message. How did it go? If you're still struggling with your business, don't forget STCfitlearning.com/scorecard. We will be able to just have a look at your overall business. We talk about values, mindset, and actually the business model, the service, the clients, and being really, really good at your job as well to make sure that we're ticking the boxes, creating a standout personal trainer. Thanks for tuning in.